can't actually remember the last time I felt this good for such a prolonged period of time. Instead of me consuming social media has been consuming me for like a very long time. So I did it. I quit. Cold turkey, by the way, might I add. I'm now 4 weeks into a social sober life. And what I discovered during this time made me realize how much I didn't know I was missing. Everyone talks about phone addiction like it's a time problem. If you just put your phone down, you'd get more done. And whilst, yes, that is true, that is not wholly what this is about. What I didn't realize is the constant noise of consuming other people's thoughts, stories, and opinions was completely drowning out my own inner monologue. When I finally started to hear myself again, everything changed. And I'm not even being dramatic. Like, I'm genuinely fucking serious right now. Before we get into this video, I just want to make one thing very clear. I am not someone who has like a mild scrolling habit. No. I am someone who is so totally consumed by scrolling on my social media feeds that it affects me from doing anything positive with my life. My screen time was sitting at about 6 to 8 hours a day, and that's with using blocker apps. Before you say that doesn't sound that bad, that is literally a full working day just glued to my phone every single day. Just gone. And I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely been more than that before. I would wake up, and before I had even registered that I was conscious, my phone would be in my hand and I would be scrolling. I would scroll in bed before I went to sleep. I would scroll brushing my teeth. I would scroll through entire TV shows that I apparently really wanted to watch. I would be mid-task, like literally slap bang in the middle of doing something, and without even registering what my hands are doing, my phone would be in my hand, I'd be doom scrolling, and my task would never get finished. I would close the apps with good intentions, and literally within seconds, they would be open again without me even thinking about doing it. It's just like pure compulsion at this point. And you know what? Most of the time, I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't really getting anything from it. I think I was just doing it because the alternative, sitting with my own thoughts, felt uncomfortable. And that's what should have alarmed me, because what am I running from? It's not like this feeling crept up on me. I have known that the way I am using my phone has not been good for like at least 2 years now. But knowing and doing something about it are two very different things. It's got to a point for me where the frustration with myself constantly scrolling on my phone has become unbearable, and I had to do something about it. See, I want to be the kind of person that is like learning, creating, growing, just like an interesting person with thoughts and opinions. So as you can imagine, spending eons of my life scrolling on my phone like a brain dead zombie was not helping the cause. If you are someone who even wants to achieve a little bit more for yourself, I am sure you can understand where I'm coming from with this. Like, why am I watching strangers living their lives when I literally have my own real life to be living? So I thought, fuck it. I am not doing this anymore. No more half-hearted limitations, just full commitment to the cause. See, I didn't delete the apps, which I know some people are going to think is crazy, but I really wanted to teach myself discipline around TikTok and Instagram. So what I did instead is I told myself, gun to my head, could I not open these apps? If my life depended on it, could I refrain from scrolling on social media? The answer is yes. So that is how I approached it. Because also, when you think about it like this, the life I truly want to live does actually depend on me not doing this one thing. I want to be honest about the first week, because I think this is where most people give up, because I almost gave up too. I didn't actually feel like I was gaining that much from the experience. The boredom hit immediately. Well, maybe boredom is not the right word. I felt very uncomfortable and I felt very lost. I had to figure out, what the hell am I going to do with all of this free time? Because let me tell you, there is a lot of it. The first week, I kept reaching for like easy recreational hobbies, you know, to replace my recreational scrolling habit. So I was basically just like reading a lot and banging Pinterest. And that is pretty much all I was doing with the time that I was spending off my phone. And it got me thinking, wasn't the whole point of me coming off social media to become a better person? Granted, these are healthier ways to spend my time, but still, I've got so many things I need to be doing. When is this motivation going to hit me? I had no idea how deep rooted this habit has been ingrained into my soul. Because even though I was fully committed to this, remember, gun to my head, could I do it? Fuck yeah, I can. In the first week, my thumb would automatically open Instagram at least 10 to 15 times a day. Like, before my brain had even realized what my thumb was doing, the feed would be open on my phone and I'd be like, don't scroll, you're gonna die. And I would have to just like get rid of it. It's dramatic, I know, but it's the only way I can like trick my brain into doing things that need to be done, you know? It works. This is why Pinterest became my savior, and I will get into that in a little bit. There was also this massive feeling of loneliness that I wasn't expecting to feel. Like, what is everyone up to? Has anyone sent me a meme? Which is actually so dumb when I say it out loud, because like, does it actually matter? No. So the first week, uncomfortable, restless, lonely, and lost. But then something started to happen at the beginning of week 2, and that is what I want to tell you about. It's important. I don't think it's important. It is important. I was home on my day off and I had just finished my second book. That is how much I'm reading, by the way. And I felt so lost. Like, what the hell am I meant to do with my time now? I've scrolled Pinterest for all it's worth. I've finished 2 books and I know I need to be doing other things, but I'm like, what am I meant to be doing if not scrolling on my phone? So I thought, I'll go for a walk. Maybe that will make me feel better. Which, you know, don't judge me yet. I never really take myself out on walks, probably because I'm too busy scrolling on my phone. But since I've not had that to do, I'm like, I need to go outside. I need to go on a walk. There's things to see, places to be. So anyway, I went for a walk, came home, didn't know what to do with myself. And so then I was like, journal. So I journaled for literally ages. And I was just asking myself, like, how have you felt this week? Like, what have you been up to? And as I was journaling, which I do journal anyway, I have been journaling for a long time, but as I was journaling at the beginning of week 2, that was the moment when I was sitting there with my own thoughts that I first started to feel that connection to myself that I didn't even realize I'd lost. The only way I can explain it is, you know, that voice in your head? We all have it. Do you actually remember the last time you had a constant stream of conversation with the voice in your head? I sound crazy saying the voice in your head. Your higher self. I know that also sounds really woo-woo, but I don't know how else to put it. Those thoughts that come into your head that help you, you know, think about things. Do you actually have a relationship with them? Because I thought I did. I thought I had thoughts in my head, but it wasn't until I turned off the noise, stopped listening to other people, stopped consuming so much crap, that I realized, oh my God, hello girl, I haven't spoken to you in a very long time and you're coming through to me very, very clearly right now. And I know I sound crazy, I know I do, but I honestly couldn't believe this myself. I cannot believe how much stronger my own mind has become, my own thoughts, my own opinions, solving issues to my own problems from the voice that comes down to me from wherever the hell it comes from, you know? And I missed her. I didn't realize how much I actually truly missed myself. Yeah, that's when I knew something real was actually happening. So I was like, I need to keep going with this. I need to see what another week does for me off of social media. So I kept going. By the way, I never planned on doing a month. I never really planned on like a set time. I just wanted to do a week and then I wanted to see how the week would feel and then I would go from there. So the fact that we're currently sitting on week 5, clock it. Originally, I wanted to do this just so I could do some of the things that I've been procrastinating about for like months. But now, 4 weeks in, I have come to realize there is so much more to gain out of this than just productivity. So let's cover the obvious things first. I have had an abundance of free time on my hands, so I finished not 1, not 2, but 3 big fat books. Unheard of. I've organized my entire wardrobe. I've watched, like properly watched and paid attention to so many amazing movies and TV shows. My house is always tidy. And best of all, I've completed the task that has been giving me so much anxiety for the last 4 months. I'm planning a hen do, and now literally all that's left to do is book the stripper. I'm joking, we're not getting a stripper, are we? No, all that's left to do for me now is to find my outfits. Let me tell you, before we had the schedule, we had the themes, we had the decorations, like everything needed to be done. Now it's fucking done. I did it in that week too. I finished everything that I'd been stressing out about for the longest time. I did it in 3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days. I honestly didn't think I would be able to do it. I feel free. I'm procrastinating far less because when I take scrolling out of the equation, there's literally nothing left for me to do other than what needs to be done. And when I do go to do a task, my focus on said task is so much stronger than it was before because the option for distraction has been greatly minimized. Like, I've even noticed this at the gym, my workouts, I'm feeling like way more focused. I feel like I'm feeling it in all of the muscles. I feel like I'm just like going ham every single time I work out because I'm just not bothered about what comes next, you know? I don't feel like the urge to go on my phone, and like even when I'm mid sets, I'm not scrolling on my phone. I'm just present. I'm just feeling the vibe. Like, it's amazing. But look, like I said, the productivity stuff is great, right? I would stop scrolling just for the fact of getting so much shit done. It is such a freeing, amazing feeling, especially if you're someone who struggles to like focus in on anything like me. I am a big fat procrastinator, and this has helped me so much. But it's actually the least interesting revelation of this whole experiment, if that's a way to put it. Because everything else that I've come to realize over the last few weeks, I genuinely was not expecting to feel, which is why this video is so important. So let's talk about it. I didn't realize how much I relied on social media to feed the part of my brain that feels connection. When you're constantly sending memes and videos back and forth with your friends, viewing everyone's stories, seeing what everyone is up to, and then you cut yourself off, you can start to feel a little bit lonely. So this just made me realize I wasn't really nurturing any of my relationships. I was just fooling myself into thinking I was with all of the synthetic online connection. Now, I'm someone who thrives off social interaction. So this forced me to start reaching out to the people who truly matter to me because I needed to feed my soul. Do you know what I mean? Before this, I would find it so hard to reply to my WhatsApp messages. I would get the worst anxiety around it, and because I didn't reply to anyone, I'd constantly be thinking, oh my God, everyone hates me because I don't reply to anyone. But then I'm like, just reply to everyone. And then I'm like, I can't until now. Because now I'm literally gagging for human connection. So for the first time in my entire life, I am so on top of my WhatsApp. And let me tell you, it feels good. The girls that get it, get it. If you have WhatsApp anxiety, or, you know, you're one of those people that they go, yeah, I text her, but she hasn't replied. Like, yeah, it's not a good feeling. But I'm not like that anymore. Well, for the last month. I have spent hours on FaceTime with friends and family. I've got my group chats popping off again, and I'm making way more plans to see people IRL, which obviously I did that before, but I'm like gagging for it now. Like I said, give me the human connection. Hello, does anyone want to see me? Come and hang out with me, you know? It feels good. I've also noticed something else regarding connection. You know those little interactions that you have with strangers when you walk away and you're just like, yes, slayed that interaction, did not stutter, like they was feeling my aura. You know those ones? Well, every single interaction I've had in the last 4 weeks has been like that. I feel like people are more drawn to me. And that could just be me noticing something that I hadn't noticed before because I was obviously so consumed with God knows what. Or it could be the fact that my brain is sharper and everyone is just fully vibing with my brand new sparkly aura. Can you feel it? Which is actually impressive because I've been in my luteal phase and yet people are still vibing out with me, which is amazing because that's normally when I'm a miserable bitch. So, you know, something's got to be working. Okay, this next one. Let's talk about the news. Before short form video came along, I didn't really watch the news. Sue me. Like, I had a vague awareness of what was going on, but I wasn't being like bombarded with all of the worst things happening in the world on a daily basis. Call me vapid, I don't care. Look, I understand it's important to be informed about worldly goings on, but when the information is making you feel depressed and anxious, what is knowing actually doing for you? It's not like I can personally stop all of the evil things happening in the world by watching a 10-second clip of it on my phone. So why should I be absorbing it every single day when there's literally nothing I can do to change it? And all it's doing is making me feel scared. Without that constant draining negative drip feed of doom, life is actually beginning to feel lighter again. You know when you're a kid and you haven't got a clue of any of the bad things happening in the world? That is how I'm feeling most of the time. Obviously I'm still aware, but I'm not thinking about it because what can I do? Nothing. This one is going to sound a little bit out there, but stay with me on this. I am having significantly fewer negative thoughts about my financial situation. And the reason is simple. The things I can't afford are not constantly being thrown in my face all of the time anymore. Before, I would clock myself feeling stressed and inferior about money, genuinely like 10 times a day. You know, someone's fancy holiday, someone's brand new house, someone's really cool wardrobe. Just like a constant reminder of all of the things I don't have yet. And that stuff, it's not inspiration. It's literally just financial insecurity on a consistent loop in your head. You want this, can't afford it. You want this, can't afford it. You're stupid, you need more money. Oh my God, why don't you have this skincare? Why don't you have hair extensions? Why aren't you going to this fancy place on holiday? You want this, can't have it. You want this, can't have it. Do you know what I mean? And then you're like, I need more money. I need more money. I'm such a big fat loser. Like, what a horrible feeling. And I don't feel like that as much anymore. I mean, obviously the financial stress is still there, but what can I do about it? New job? Nah. And see as well, the thing is, if I actually want to attract more money into my life, then constantly thinking negative thoughts around money is going to be pushing that energy away from me. So like, why the fuck would I do that? Spending my days feeling lack is the worst possible way to do it because I'm just pushing the money away. I'm like, you scare me, get away from me, I don't have any money, you know? From a spiritual perspective, it makes sense. I asked my boyfriend, what do you think is the biggest change you've noticed in me over the last 4 months? And what he said actually really surprised me. He told me I have my life force energy back. And at first I was like, oh my God, I'm already literally like the most energetic person in the house. He probably wants me to start scrolling on my phone again. But I asked him what he meant by that. And he said, I'm just happier, more energetic, more playful, more fun, more myself again. And actually, now he comes to mention it, I can feel it too. I feel like I have more of like a thirst for life. Like I'm taking myself out the house more. I'm dancing in the kitchen again. I'm starting new projects for fun. And I've realized I can't actually remember the last time I felt this good for such a prolonged period of time. And that is saying something. Before I speak about what I personally think is the most important lesson I've learned out of everything, I quickly want to touch on the feeling of presence. We hear this word thrown around like, oh my God, be present, present moment, feel the present moment, blah, 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 blah. But do we ever stop to actually truly feel it? When our eyes are constantly glued to our screens, we forget what it feels like to just be. I'm taking in more from my surroundings. I feel like I'm viewing the world through the eyes of my childhood self. I was sat outside my flat a couple of weeks ago, just like listening to music, sunbathing, taking in the scenery around me. And I looked up and I thought, how have I never seen my own area from this point of view before? Like, how have I never actually taken a moment to stand here and look around me and actually take in what the area looks like? I've lived here for 2 years, by the way. But it's not just the world around me that I'm seeing differently. It's the world inside me that I'm feeling differently as well. I quit scrolling so I could just get more shit done. But when I turned off the noise, what happened is it left me alone with my own thoughts. At first, there wasn't really much going on up there, not gonna lie. But as time has progressed, as the weeks have gone by, the voice in my head has got louder. And don't worry, I'm not schizophrenic. Like I said, it's my higher self. The voice in my head has got louder. And it genuinely does feel like I'm reconnecting with an old best friend. There's moments when I'm journaling and I'm just purely feeling this like true connection to myself. And honestly, I just feel so happy and I feel so relieved. Like, it honestly feels to me like for the last 6 years, I've been hooked on some sort of like memory loss drug and I've completely forgotten who I am. And as soon as I've switched all of the noise off, the drug is wearing off and I'm truly starting to remember who I am again, how I speak, how I think, what I like to do, how I feel, you know? The only way I can describe it is there is a fog that is continuously clearing between me and my higher self. I'm like answering questions to my own problems and I'm having way more creative ideas. For example, this video. The only reason I'm making this video is because of my journaling to my higher self. So you can thank my schizophrenic second voice for everything that's coming out here right now. Our inner monologue is there for a reason, right? It's how we compartmentalize the day. It's how we work through our problems. And it's literally who we are. It is us. And we're blocking them out with a constant stream of information for the brain to process, just so a thought can't get in. Instead, we should really be nurturing the relationships that we have with our mind. When you really think about it, our relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship that we will ever have. So why are we allowing them to be pushed out like some stranger in favors of literal strangers on the internet? Oh my God, we're getting there. Anyway, if any of that resonates with you and you want to try it yourself, here is what actually made it survivable. The day before I cut out scrolling, I knew it was going to be tough. So I wrote myself a list. I wrote down every single thing I could possibly think of to fill my time so that if I ever got bored, I could just go to the list and pick something off of there to do. I wrote down fun activities, shows I wanted to watch, books I wanted to read, hobbies I've been meaning to start. I also wrote down all of the anxiety-inducing tasks that I've been avoiding on the list in hopes that the motivation would find me. So I literally wrote down anything I could think of. I wanted to go easy on myself and I knew I was going to be reaching for my phone. So I had to find a healthier way to be on my phone. And this is where Pinterest came in. Pinterest has been my savior. Pinterest for me was like the gateway that allowed me to make this commitment go on for so long. I know it's still scrolling, but it's just like fun pictures to inspire you with like your fashion, your home, meal prep, stuff like that. And I've actually found it really inspiring. And also there's only really so much time you can spend on Pinterest. So it's not like you're going to be consumed by it like you are TikTok and Instagram. And reading, oh my God, I could not have done this unless I had my amazing book series to get me through. If you're a fantasy gal or boy, I cannot recommend the Red Rising series enough. I have been locked into that shit. It's kind of complex and it's kind of masculine, but if you just give yourself the chance to like get lost in the story, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm so glad I did this. Sorry, I'm a bit of a nerd. If you just keep your book on you for the entire time, when you find yourself in those moments where you're gagging to scroll on your phone, you know, when you're standing in line at a shop, when you're waiting for the tube, like you can just get your book out and read your book. And then you're kind of like soothing that pain of being uncomfortable and bored. And you're not consuming crap. For when I've really been feeling like I just need some noise, Netflix, YouTube, long form content, films, shows, hello. I think we forgot how good television is. I don't think long form content is bad. It's not like you're constantly touching the screen, scrolling, interacting. You're just like listening to someone else talk while you're doing other things. I don't see a problem with it and I couldn't survive without it. It's the short form stuff that we need to steer clear from. Like I said earlier, at first you're going to find yourself reaching for low effort recreational activities, making vision boards, reading stories. But eventually, you'll tire of those things and naturally feel ready to start ticking off some of the more scary things on the list. It gets so much easier to do that. Like, your want to do these things, the friction has been removed. And so everything feels easier when before it felt almost impossible. None of these things are like permanent fixes, but they're great ways to get you through the first couple of weeks if coming off of your phone is something that you are actually interested in. But after the first couple of weeks, you won't need all of that stuff as much as you thought you did, because your brain, that voice in your head, is guiding you and telling you what to do at all times, and motivation is stronger. I came into this thinking I was just doing this to get more shit done. And yes, that did happen. But what I didn't expect was to find something I didn't even know I had lost. My own voice, my own thoughts, my own life. I've gained back a confidence in myself that I wasn't sure I was ever actually going to feel again. Not only from everything I've learned while being off social media, but also like keeping that promise to myself to stop scrolling and actually doing it, building trust in myself. This is something I never actually truly thought I would be able to do, and I am so proud of myself for taking the first steps. And I'm so thankful to myself that I have done this. I'm so grateful to myself because it truly might be the greatest thing I have ever done for me. And I want that for other people too, because the way your brain feels when you're off it is far more valuable than anything you are going to see when you're on it. So if you're intrigued about my scrollish journey, I'm going to keep making videos about this because I cannot shut up about it to literally anyone I speak to. So I might as well share it on the internet too. Subscribe if you want to hear more, and if you're thinking about trying this, do it. That's all I've got.